Hi, we're the Game Brass.
Hi.
Hi.
Hey, we're the Game Brass.
Hi, we're the Game Brass.
Oh, wow. Cool. Hello, everybody. We are the Game Brass. Thank you so much for joining us. My name is Robbie Duguay. I play the trumpet, and these are my friends in the Game Brass. That track we just heard was Delfino Plaza from Mario Sunshine. Outside of the group of people who are currently in this chat, we also featured Max Boyko and Brooke Ferd on trumpet, Marc Papagin and Jackie Fazekas on horn, Eric Laddish, Jacob McNatt, Troy Strand on trombone, Abby Lennon, Jordan Moore on euphonium, and Caitlin Jaudoin on tuba. So once again, that was Delfino Plaza. Hello, thank you for joining us.
Yes, and welcome. So that was our first track, 16-piece brass ensemble, a little bigger than our normal group. Most of this is a 6-piece brass group with our main members of John Robert Matz on first trumpet and Robbie Duguay on second trumpet, Danny Flam on first horn part. We have a second horn on all of these tracks too, played by John Stacy. And on trombone is Daniel Romberger. And finally on tuba on everything is going to be Alex Hill. Some people noticed that wasn't just Delfino Plaza. That was a medley of everything in that game that uses that same melody. But it's only sort of a medley, I guess, because it's the same melody. That's how I justified it. Anyway, hope you all enjoy.
Snuck that one by.
We're gonna move on to our next track, which is the title theme from Yoshi's Island, featuring steel drum bands. Enjoy. back on. Thanks for listening, everybody. That was Yoshi's Island featuring steel drum bands. As the group is actually, though, all one person who played all of that. That wasn't a brass instrument. He's with us on stream. We'll see if we can work through some technical issues.
Hello.
And he's joined us. So here he is.
Right. I'm here.
Of steel drum bands. So graciously joined us. He's one of the first people that actually got on this project with us. And basically everything on that track that's not a brass instrument is him. So what all you play on that?
What instruments? I played some congas, some bongos. I got some what do you call them? Like bells, and obviously different types of steel pans. So I got the soprano pan, the alto pan, and like a cello-ish pan.
Yeah. So One thing I learned going into this was the number of different steel pans there are. Most players, I think you told me, kind of have one that's their main pan.
Yeah. So as I was saying to you, you were saying, when you put me on the album, you just put steel pan, but I was like, it's more than that. Like I played the soprano and the alto, because people just think steel pan, but they're all different. They're all set out different with different notes. So like, not everybody plays them all, but I just love it so much that I just play and own them all. So as you know, so yeah, man.
Right. Go ahead, Robbie.
Sorry. Yeah. So we actually got in touch with you originally because you have your own channel. So please shout out your channel. But the reason why this stands out to me in this part of the conversation is because recently you got some bass pans, right?
Yeah.
The big boys.
Some bass pans. Yeah. So I got some bass pans. Yeah. But I didn't put these on your track because I don't know, that wasn't what was requested. But you got the tuba. So
we had tuba anyway, but yeah, you did a lot. So most of that stuff was actually improvised by Francis. I laid out a couple melodic lines, some other like the main riff, but almost all of it was all the other pan stuff. Definitely all the other percussion was improvised, made up, arranged by Francis here. So that was great.
Yeah, so I just tried to the whole story behind the way how that track came out was, so when you sent the track to me, I was like, this is good, but like I couldn't feel it because I was like, I'm like a lot of like rhythm and drums and stuff. So I was like, I got to like put something on, I got to like drum on it so that I can understand it, so when I drummed on it, like it became more accessible to me. And then I was like, oh, this is actually really good. Like, and then like the structure and stuff all became like clear, the way how you put the breaks in and then you go back in and then I was like, I could understand it after I had put the drums on it. So like the whole thing about arranging it was kind of like trying to make it accessible for me, but then it just kind of all worked and blended together. So yeah, man, our skills just came together nicely and just everything blended in. It was good, man.
Yeah, it was good. So Francis is based in the UK, I believe. I think it's like after midnight for you right now.
Yeah.
So that was great. We're glad to have you. I think we're going to go on
so much
to the next track now.
Right, thanks, man.
Just before we move on, youtube.com/steel drum bands. That is Francis, a whole channel of music like what you just heard, but he does way more than that. So please check that out. youtube.com/steel drum bands.
Right,
all right.
Thanks, Francis.
Next up, we got going to a whole different island. This one, Dragon Roost Island from The Legend of Zelda Wind Waker, featuring. What am I missing?
No, featuring FamilyJules. Sorry,
Yeah.
I thought you were done. What I was going to say was this is a world premiere of this video because this video is going to get posted to YouTube tomorrow. We are streaming on a few different platforms today. Thank you to Danny Music for hosting us on Twitch. We're on Periscope for Twitter. We're on Facebook, but mostly our home is YouTube, youtube.com/thegamebrass. Tomorrow we're going to have this making a premiere, but tonight I want to show you Dragon Roost Island from the Wind Waker featuring FamilyJules.
And that was the fantastic Dragon Roost Island from The Legend of Zelda Wind Waker. That is honestly one of my favorite tracks. FamilyJules did an amazing job. And just a second, I want to throw this out here because he hasn't introduced himself yet. All of the tracks on this album were written by or arranged by the fantastic Thomas Kresge, who you've seen talk a whole lot, which is why we're talking so he can't.
Yeah, Thomas.
Thomas, just phenomenal work across the board. I can say that now because he can't stop me. So now we're going to hear a little bit about the next piece from our trombonist, Daniel Romberger.
Okay. So, hello, I'm Daniel Rumberger. I play trombone in the Game Brass. The Game Brass is a brass quintet, except this time we are a brass sextet who plays classical arrangements of video game music. You are listening to our third album listening party. It is called Brassino Isles Tropical Cruise. It is available on Bandcamp, Spotify, Deezer, iTunes, all of the platforms. If you can get digital or physical versions. The physical ones you have to order on Bandcamp. Everything else you can just listen to on its own. So, next up, we are on our fourth track, which is A Sea Breeze Blows. This is the hometown of Tressa, one of the 8 main characters of Octopath Traveler. And this track was arranged by Thomas Kresge and features the Game Brass plus the talents of Oka Banda and Ocarina Septet. And hope you all enjoy. And we are back. You have just listened to A Sea Breeze Blows, featuring the Game Brass plus Oca Banda and Ocarina Septet, which has a really cool ensemble sound to it, as arranged by Thomas Kresge as part of our third album, Brassino Isles Tropical Cruise. We are joined now by the legendary Stephen Higby of Oca Banda. Hello.
Stephen, are you there? Did we lose you?
We are also joined by the legendary Technical Difficulties.
Stephen Higby left.
No, we hardly
Stephen-
knew you.
Okay.
Steven turned into a dog and then went away. I mean,
Let's fill time. Wait, he's rejoined. Will he be here?
all right,
Stephen,
we got
are
this.
you here?
I am here.
Huzzah!
Hello.
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 Welcome.
Cool.
Thank you for joining us. I love that piece. It's stupendous. It's like living inside like a Miyazaki film scored by Joe Hisaishi for like, I don't know, like 3.5 minutes. It's lovely.
So, Oca Banda is an ocarina septet, which 7 instruments. Stephen, can you talk about how the ensemble is constructed? Maybe some of the history regarding it?
I don't know too much about the history. I know a little bit thanks to David telling me, but originally the ocarina was made to be played in an ensemble of ocarinas, and it consists of soprano C to contrabass C. So you have the really tiny ones, like this is soprano C, is just super small. I don't have a contrabass sadly, but I do have a bass C. This one's a little bit larger. And then the contrabass is just, it's huge. Jordan plays that beast.
Fantastic.
Yeah,
It's like playing a beach ball.
Yeah, it's like a little football they can throw. Yeah, so Oca Banda consists of, so we have Jordan on contrabass, Andy on bass G, Caitlin on bass C, Ella on alto G, Ted on alto C, David on the soprano G, and then myself on soprano C. It's
Fantastic. No, it's a great sound. It's like it is. It's like a modernized version of like the recorder consorts from the Renaissance, when it's all derivations of the same family of instrument. You guys did fantastic. We've all gotten to see you guys live at MagFest and other stuff, and it's always a blast hearing you play. And we're super happy to have you join us on this album.
Yeah. Well, thank you for having us. It was such a blast.
It's been great. So do you have anything you're working on right now that you want to shout out?
Am I cutting out again? Okay, I'm good. Okay. So right now we are working on doing some recording stuff soon, just some distant recording stuff. Yeah, just we're doing that stuff. We're hoping, be able to perform more stuff once COVID ends. You can find us at Ocarina on all of our socials, Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, all that stuff. Yeah, that's all from me.
Super cool. Thanks so much, Stephen. You've been fantastic.
Yeah.
So next up is one of my favorite pieces on the album. They're all my favorite pieces on the album, let's be honest. But this is this occupies a special place in my heart. This is from the seminal title in the Monkey Island series. This is the main theme from Monkey Island by Michael Land.
goodness.
And with that,
I'm nervous.
uh,
I'm not gonna do this.
Yeah, I think we should just
are
cut
we,
it.
are we
Let's
back?
just
I
cut
think
it.
we're
Cut.
back.
No, we're oh, no, oh, okay. Hi.
Hey guys.
Yay!
Wonderful.
Hello.
In
Hi.
1990, a little company called LucasArts created a strange game written by and created by Ron Gilbert called The Secret of Monkey Island. And that was the main tune written by a guy named Michael Land. It's something. You may have noticed that we were a little bit more something than just a brass quintet for that one. We're joined by our wonderful friends from the absolutely wild ensemble of classical musicians turned in just like there's no word for it, frankly.
Classically informed.
We're uncategorized.
Yeah, we gave up like a while ago.
Maniacs. That is the term I think we use. Of Disco Cactus. Today we have quite a few of them with us. I'm going to turn it over to Doug Perry to lead the way and introduce all of his fellow bandmates.
All right. Hi, everybody. My name is Doug Perry. I am in a band called Disco Cactus, which you just heard about. I'm joined here on my couch by Lauren Travia, who does flute, vocals, electronic wind instrument, and arranges. We've also Sam. We told Sam not to talk, but we'll just pull him in.
I was gonna say I'm not in frame anymore. the Zoom chat the chat moved over a little bit.
That's
like,
all. That's all right. Well, we're joined by Sam. He's our bassist.
I'm also in Disco Cactus.
He is also in Disco Cactus. He does electric and upright bass as well as arranges for the group. Also in the call we've got Mateus Sardinia Garcia Souza.
Yes, it's me.
Of New York City. And Brazil, I guess, dual citizenship in both countries. And
New York City is a country. That's true.
Yeah.
Yes.
He has dual citizenship in both countries.
In both countries, and
then Ben and
Mateus
and this is Pete,
as well as arranger. We got Ben Wallace as well, who's our keyboardist, percussionist, and arranger.
Yes, it's me.
I am Ben.
I'm Ben Wallace.
We have Sam's estranged, long lost twin brother Pete Bobinski.
We don't talk to him anymore, but he's still in the band.
Who plays electric guitar, clarinet, and also arranges for the group. And I should have mentioned I play vibes, sometimes drums, other percussion, and I also arrange for the band as well. And that is us.
Well,
I hope that made sense.
It did make sense. I think we can follow that. That was, having gotten to see some of your shows at MagFest and the like, it's not always so easy to follow everything that goes on. But this was incredibly clear. Incredibly clear. Thank you so much, all of you, for
Can we
joining
put
us.
that on our website? Not always easy to follow. A Gang Award-winning composer,
But I'll take it. Sure. Yeah, it's a quote from me. That's great. I'll give you that one. But no, thank you all so much for playing. That piece is so good. And that moment when Ben just pops his chest hair out, it's burned in my brain forever. I'll never forget it.
He does that for every video.
I noticed you cut him out and cut that part out of the other ones. It's all right. It's all right. That's why the power of editing. But for this one occasion, it was acceptable. Thank you.
So that scene definitely got out of control, like completely out of control. I say this as the guy who edited it. And it all started with Doug just singing his part like this close to the camera. And we all like watched it as a group. And we were like, wouldn't it be funny if everybody did that? And then Ben sent in his parts and it just oh, what if I got this costume?
There was no turning back.
You have to understand that we had in our own sort of Disco Cactus band chat, we were talking about what we're doing for the arrangement, who's dressing up as what, blah blah blah. And then I think I just sent that video to everybody without any context. And I believe Ben had already recorded his vocal stuff and went back and redid it.
Yeah, he had just done piano and then he just sat there singing to himself, not even looking at the camera.
Yeah.
The band sent in 6 different takes of that, and they're all in there.
Every single one of the takes that Ben sent was labeled clearly with the overall emotional tone. Of it. So he
70% emotion, 80% emotion.
The drunkenness too. The amount of or something to that effect, right?
So good.
How drunk his pirate was at the time.
Yeah.
I
Well,
could be
Pete
wrong.
Boots was the most drunk because he wasn't even singing. He was just drinking out of a cup.
Hey, that's what Thomas was doing too.
So, Disco Cactus people, how do people out here who may not have necessarily seen you before, how do they watch you? How do they listen to you? Please tell us about yourselves in terms of how we can watch.
Absolutely. So, the climate has changed quite a bit, obviously, in the last couple months. And the way that we perform isn't quite the same as it used to be. But we're trying to make an effort for the next couple months to try to put some things out on our YouTube page. So you can find us on YouTube. And we also, when the time is right again, we'll stream on my Twitch channel over at twitch.tv/DrumUltima. We occasionally do band concerts from there as well. We've also got a Bandcamp page that you can check out. Disco Cactus Music.
It might be VGM.
Oh, VGM. Yeah, I can't never get this.
Our website is one and our Bandcamp is something
Yeah,
else.
it's
We
not
didn't
great.
think this through.
Disco Cactus VGM is also on SoundCloud, where we have our old. It feels old now, but our Road You Can Go track and a couple live tracks from various shows that we've done over the past two.
That Road You Can Go track is also legendary. That chorus just burned in.
You've
Thank
done
you.
a lot of amazing things, but that one is still my favorite.
Road You Can Go.
Just
We got to put credit where we got to give credit where credit's due. That was the brainchild of Ben Wallace. Ben is in the chat right now, so Ben, you need to own up to this. This is your fault.
Yes, it's me, Ben.
Sorry, this is a terrible inside joke that is continuing forever.
Yeah,
I heard you
it'll never
guys are, you also, like through the grapevine or something like that, you guys are scoring, specifically like Ben is kind of helming, some sort of an exciting new indie game project,
Yes.
maybe of an educational variety. You want to plug that real quick?
Yeah, Ben, would you like to talk about?
Sure.
That's right, Ben. So nice of you to
I've
join
been
us.
Yes,
recently
it's Ben.
composing the music to a game called Letterbound.
Oh man,
It's
I've missed
basically
so much time for it.
overcooked, but with letters.
It's Overcooked meets Scrabble.
Yeah,
So yeah, he's the composer for that project, and we're all sort of enlisted with some other auxiliary friends
Yeah.
to fill out the bands. We're all performing, the music for
including a
that.
certain Daniel Rambangler.
Burglar.
I'll allow it. The spelling of my last name is incidentally one of the things that is in Overcooked Scrabble.
The final boss is spelling Daniel Romberger.
It's really not
that's
that
right.
hard. It's really not that difficult. Jeez.
And sorry, just because there's a lot going on, it is letter bound.
Letterbound, yeah,
Letterbound. Okay, cool.
Yep, and the demo is up on itch.io, right?
Yep.
Yeah,
Yep.
so you can play they got a couple levels up ready to go, and some of Ben's music is already in there with our live performance.
I
So
believe it's Windows only, but if you got Windows, check it out.
yeah, it's a good time.
If you got a
Super
Mac,
cool.
Find a window.
Download an emulator illegally. All right. So I did that for our segment.
I think it's time to hang up.
Yeah, we could. I'm having a great time here, and we could probably do this all night for the entire stream. But we should play another song. Disco Cactus, thank you so much. I'm a huge fan. I'm in your chat every week.
Aw,
Love
we're
your
huge
stuff.
fans, too.
Yeah, congrats
Thank
on the
you.
album.
Yeah, congrats, guys.
Thanks
for
for being on
having
the
us.
album. Thanks for being on the stream. And yeah, we'll do this again soon, hopefully.
Yeah.
Cool. So, introducing what is next. The next track is, I believe, from David Wise. It is from Battletoads, and it is Surf City. Our guest on this track is Banjo Guy Ollie, who actually he wanted to be here with us tonight, but he had some family responsibilities and couldn't make it at the last minute. But yeah, we want to play for you Surf City from Battletoads. Here we go.
Hello. Welcome back. We're the Game Brass. You just listened to Surf City from Battletoads, and we had Banjo Guy Ollie join us on this. Again, he can't be in here for the stream, but thank you so much for playing on this. This track is super hype. Banjo Guy Ollie played 3 instruments on here. He not only, of course, banjo, but also the mandolin and the bouzouki. Really get that fighting frog feel. But again, if you're new here or just tuning in, this is Game Brass. This is our listening party for our Brassino Isles Tropical Cruise. It's a big collab album. We have 50 collaborators, 16 tracks. We're gonna play through more music videos and everything. We're gonna talk about a lot of the tracks tonight. I'm Alex Hill. I play tuba. And then also on the stream here, we got John Robert Matz on trumpet, Robbie Duguay on trumpet as well, Dana Romberger playing trombone, and Danny Flam on French horn, plays some trombone, and we'll get to that too in other tracks. And then we can't forget Thomas Kresge, who arranged all these wonderful tracks for us.
Yeah.
Now, if you're listening to it so far and you're like, awesome, I love this, I want it. Guess what? You can't. So you can go to our Bandcamp page and pick this up right now. But if you're tuning into the stream right now, it sounds like a super advertisement. But you can get 15% off not only this album, but everything except for Snowtopia with a discount code ISLANDS. All caps, ISLANDS, get you that discount code, get you 15% off anything except for Snowtopia. But thank you guys so much for listening. Go to Bandcamp. Go ahead and save it on Spotify. It's on iTunes. It's on Google Music. It's on everything. You're good to go. So
I have an embarrassing correction, Alex. I'm so sorry.
What'd I do?
You missed John Stacy.
I missed John Stacy. I'm so sorry. It's because I was looking at all the squares.
Yeah.
And,
John Stacy just got new internet, and it's not internet.
It's not good.
Yeah.
So he's not here.
John Stacy is here in spirit. Our spirit French horn.
Yeah.
So thank you, John Stacy, for leaning so much horn on all this.
Yeah, he just got AOL.
If he's not in the internet, does that mean it's really outernet?
It's gonna be an outer face joke by the end of the night. John Stacy, are you on voice right now? Can you say hello? Are you there? I don't know if you're. I think your square is there, but I think you might be muted. Okay, well, if we get a chance to hear from you in a bit, that would be great. Sorry to interrupt you, Alex. Go ahead.
No, that's just pretty much it. Like I said, pick it up at Bandcamp. Use the discount code ISLANDS for 15% off everything but Snowtopia. And then if you want to listen to it on any streaming platform, it's there. So I guess next we're going to roll into the next video here. I think we have someone else who's going to let you know, announce what it's going to be.
Yeah, our next track is a wonderful piece. This is from Earthbound. This is Summers.
Wow.
Oh man, I don't know who did that, but that was the first edition, the first draft of Summers for ukulele and piano and whistling. But then we brought on a real guest artist in Samantha Ballard to join us on Summers from Earthbound. Enjoy. And that was Summers from Earthbound featuring Samantha Ballard on harp and ukulele. We also had Daniel Romberger, our trombonist, playing a second part on theremin. Samantha's here with us. She has her own channel, which is full of other harp covers, an instrument that a lot of people probably aren't used to seeing so much on its own, but most people agree sounds great. She actually recorded 2 separate harp parts, and there's like a technical reason I did that, and it's because the harp is kind of a weird instrument compared to other ones. Unlike a piano that just has every note, a harp can only have like one option per each letter. Like you can have A, or you can have A sharp across every A string. You can't have both.
Do you want me to explain how it works?
Yeah,
I'm very used to explaining how it works. So
leave it to the expert.
Yeah. So with the harp, I kind of like to explain it like the strings are basically the white keys of the piano. And so if you want to use the black keys, there's pedals along the bottom of the instrument that change the pitch of like the same lettered string across the whole instrument. So if I have my A pedal in the flat position, every single A on the instrument is A flat. So there are some fun things that you can kind of do with that with enharmonics. So notes that have the same name, like you can have like E flat and D sharp. And I'm pretty sure there was like a few places in the arrangement where I was like, oh, you put a sharp there, I'm going to play that as the enharmonic flat just to kind of make it easier for myself. But yeah, so there was the 2 harp parts, specifically because the chords in this song change by a semitone, just back and forth and back and forth. So I do appreciate that you took that into account, Thomas, because yeah, otherwise it would be like pedal, pedal, pedal.
Just think about that
pedal.
first. I thought, well, why not 2 harp parts? She also played ukulele on that, though it was kind of tuned in a different way. Did that as well to just make the chords work. But yeah, we asked Samantha to join us because I think she plays ukulele on another track of hers already. And Robbie was like, here's a person that can do it all. And
yeah, so I had just put up like a track, KK Bubblegum or Bubblegum KK, whatever, from Animal Crossing, which had the ukulele part. And it was like right after that I got your email. And I was like, I don't know if he knows this, but like Bubblegum KK has like, it's supposed to be tons of 7th chords, but I'm not actually that good at ukulele. So I was just like, I'm going to just drop the 7th on all of those and just make it easier to play. And no one said anything. So I think it was a success, but I was like, okay, I have to learn some new chords now and stuff to play the part for this track. But it was a good experience. So yeah,
you totally sold it. I mean, we would have never known that was one of your like main instruments. So it was good. Yeah. And then so since then you've actually released an album. Can you tell us about it, please?
Yeah. So when I got your email as well, I was like up to my neck in like finishing up my Octopath Traveler cover album. So I've got it right here. It's called Guiding Light, an Octopath Traveler harp collection. And yeah, it's all Octopath Traveler, obviously, all on the harp. And that was about a year-long project that just came out in May. So there's information about that on my website, samanthaballardharp.com. And they've also mentioned I've got a YouTube channel. It's just my name, Samantha Ballard, so you can search me that way, or it's youtube.com/c/Samantha Ballard. So, yeah.
Awesome. Sweet. From the chat, I see there's a question. What is the range of the harp?
It depends. Like they come in different ranges, but your standard like concert harp will go from, oh gosh, I'm trying to think about like numbers, C1 to G7. There's 47 strings.
Okay, cool.
I think that's yeah.
It's, I never know those numbers off. Like even if I have to look it up, I still get confused. I'm always writing tuba parts and saying like, is this a C0? Is this a C1? I have no idea. And
I always just start from middle C. Middle C, it's a C4, and then that's all.
Unless you're using Logic and other DAWs, in which case it's C3, which just muddy. Right? It's horrible. What? There's no standardization. Yes,
that's awful.
Must be it.
Terrible.
Yeah,
it's real fun.
C3.
Oh.
Yeah, middle C is either C4 or C3, depending on the system you're using. So it makes life very exciting when you're like, did I write that tuba part an octave too low? Huh. But then if it's Alex, he's just like, no, you definitely didn't write it too low. And he just does it anyway. So it's fine.
Anyway, it has quite a big range for the concert harp. So, yeah.
Awesome. Cool. And I will say for the people who are watching, which I see is actually about 60 people on YouTube right now, which is great. Friends, please check out her channel. I'm a video guy. I love doing video edits, and we're all sort of stuck working remotely with our green screens all the time. But Samantha actually goes to real places and shoots real videos. It's definitely worth checking out. Music
Thank
even
you very
aside. The music is great, but the videos are also great.
Thanks.
Right. That was Samantha Ballard. You just heard her on Summers from Earthbound. Thank you for joining us today.
Thank you for
And
having me.
next up, we've got a special track with a special guest, Treasure Trove Cove from Banjo Kazooie. And joining us on that track will be the composer himself, Grant Kirkhope, as our featured guest on this. So next up, Treasure Trove Cove. Enjoy.
I can't believe this happened.
Okay, that was Treasure Trove Cove from Banjo Kazooie featuring Grant Kirkhope. I guess it's possible not everyone knows who he is. He's the composer of Banjo Kazooie and a handful of other games. And he was just so gracious to join us for that. Like Grant's great and how supportive he is of his own music, of people who cover his music, of just game artists in general. I know there's other people he's done similar things with. He did things like FamilyJules a while back. So yeah, we just reached out and he was like, yeah, sure, I'll record guitar. So yeah, that's like a dream come true. I make sure I put Banjo Kazooie music on every album we do, and then he's on this one too. I don't know what else to say, man.
It's great.
We have to shout out Thomas on this one. Double shout out, not only arranging it. This was Thomas's first video edit. Normally, I try to do most of the video editing. Daniel and Danny have both started doing some editing as well. But this is Thomas's first Game Brass video. Attaboy.
Woo, Thomas, get it.
Everything I learned from Robbie.
Cool. Well,
So,
Hey, who are we? Let's remind everyone
Yes,
who we are.
do
and what we are
things.
doing. Oh, okay. I'm volunteering myself for this role of reminding everyone who it is that we are and what it is that we are doing. We are the Game Brass. We are normally a brass quintet. We are actually a brass sextet for this album. I am the trombonist, Daniel Rumberger. I am joined here on stream by John Robert Matz, the
Hello.
first trumpet, Robbie Duguay, the second trumpet and co-founder,
Hi.
Thomas Kresge, the arranger, John Stacy playing horn, Danny Flam also playing horn, and Alex Hill, who is playing tuba. All right, we are playing through our third album. We're about halfway done. Our third album, which just came out today, is called Brassino Isles Tropical Cruise, not to be confused with Donkey Kong Country Tropical Freeze. You can pick that album up now on Bandcamp or listen to it on Spotify, iTunes, Amazon, Deezer, however you prefer. If you go to Bandcamp, however, there is currently a discount code. If you type in Islands, all uppercase, Islands, that's spelled ISLANDS. The S is silent. I don't know why, but you will be able to get 15% off for physical albums, digital albums, as well as some of the other merchandise and stuff that we have out already. Okay, I believe I gave the station ID now. What is the next piece that will be covered?
Next up, we have we're going on to Final Fantasy X, Besaid from Final Fantasy X, featuring Purple Scala on piano.
do we want to say anything before that, or we're just going to hit it?
I think we're ready to hit it.
All right,
We're
let's
ready
hit
to
it.
And we're back. Actually, we're going to rewind just a smidge back to the track before this with a very, very special guest. It's our very good friend, Grant Kirkhope, has joined us tonight. Grant.
That's it. Here we are.
Thank you so much. This is so great to have you. And thank you again so much for playing on that track. You're fantastic. And obviously, your work is iconic in this industry.
Well, thanks for asking me. It's like, my skills on playing instruments these days are getting worse and worse by the day. So I can really, took me ages to play those parts. I'm just getting, because I don't play anymore, right? So my guitar playing's gone down the swanny. I like my trumpet playing. And so when you asked me to do it, I thought it can't be that hard. But it took me ages to do it. Like, I managed it in the end, but it was, tricky.
That sounds great. That's the wonder of recording remotely and recording in your own studio is you can just indulge your perfectionist tendencies and also never practice. So it's great. It's all everything.
Also, my fingers hurt so much after I played it. And like, there's some complicated chords. It's like, I haven't played complicated chords for ages. I've been a metal fan. You don't play a lot of complicated chords. So it's like, it's got augmented chords and all sorts in there. It's like, I have to learn them, all over again.
Yeah, there's some stuff in there, but Grant never complained to me. It's the first time I've heard of it. So right now, while you did play guitar on that track, something not everyone knows about you is that actually you have a background playing trumpet.
Yes, I'm a properly classical trained trumpet player from the age of 6. So I went through school and I went to the Royal Northern College of Music in Manchester in the UK and did a proper, classical degree as trumpet my first study. So I was taught by the principal trumpet at the Halley Orchestra in the UK. Properly trained. But after that, I finished at 22 when I was at university. I sort of just didn't really think I wanted to be a classical trumpet player. So I ended up playing in quite a lot of bands, soul funk bands, and I played trumpet in a couple of rock bands as well. And so I guess a long-haired heavy metal trumpet player was a bit of an oddity back then. So I used to get quite a lot of work because I was the only guy with long hair played trumpet. So I looked, decent in a band. I wasn't, at the back of the stage, So it kind of got me a little bit of work in the end. But
that's the most important thing, right? To look the part, right?
Absolutely. Yeah. Who cares what it sounds like, as long as you can just,
Exactly. If you can play good, it's a bonus.
Yes. So and I could do that thing where I could spin my trumpet around my finger. I learned to do that, like the James Brown guy. And so I thought I looked fantastic. I could do it in the front and the propeller thing and at the back, and I could do it everywhere. I never thought that was super cool. But I remember we did this. There was a gig in the UK called Milton Keynes Bowl, and I was playing with Little Angels at the time. And we were supporting Bon Jovi and Billy Idol. We did some gigantic, arena tours like that. It's 80,000 seat arena, and came on for the first song, and I banged my trumpet really hard, and the mouthpiece just went, it's like flew went right across the stage, right under the mat into the speaker stack. I was like, oh my god, I haven't got a spare. Someone managed to scrabble through all the kind of scaffold and get it back just in time for the first note. But I was like, look at me, I'm so cool. I just saw it go, wow, like that. I can't play anymore because I've got a mouthpiece.
I feel like some part of me died when you told me.
Yeah,
not gonna lie, that might be the most metal thing that I've ever heard. In multiple ways.
Obviously, it looked great.
He spins his trumpet and fires a brass bullet across the stage.
Well, I didn't actually know until I picked it up to play. I went, got it. It goes a bit too far. I was like, that's a bit close. I realised there's no mouthpiece there. I was like, oh my god, where's it gone?
Oh
no! I hadn't seen it. But I've got like a Vincent Mark Strad, so it's a decent trumpet, but it's so absolutely wrecked. It's dented and bent, and it's just, you wouldn't recognise it as a Strad. It looks like a piece of old junk. So I just feel like it's just, it's a dreadful thing to look at. You would not, but it's got gaffer tape holding it together. I got my friend who's a mechanic to weld some parts on it, because the bits were coming off. He's a terrible welder, so it's just like massive blobs of weld all over it. So it looks pretty, I guess it looks rock and roll, but it's not pretty functional.
Oh boy, I love it.
Hearing you say that, sorry, the whole reason why we started the Game Brass in the first place was I met with Daniel at MagFest, and I hadn't played the trumpet in 15 years or something. And so I said, I'd really like to get back into playing trumpet. And so we decided to start this band together. So this just means that you have to play trumpet on the next Game Brass album.
Yeah.
If you give enough time to practice, I think I can manage. I can probably do, as long as it's below middle C, I'll be all right. No higher than middle C.
We'll give you like a
guaranteed
few months or so. Yeah, it'll just be a C, the entire time. Forget anything else.
Just the low parts. I'm the best middle player in the world. You know,
Perfect.
Yeah, nothing higher than that would be fine.
Yeah.
I've got my daughter started playing trumpet at school. My son did too. They both gave it up. But I've got their old Jupiter, which is, even though it's not a great trumpet, it's better. It's in better condition than my Strad. So I've got something I can play at least. But I'll have to show my Strad. It's an absolute disaster. You won't believe it. It still works, but it looks absolutely horrendous. So yeah, I think I'll play that for a laugh, and you won't believe it.
Fantastic.
Yeah, there's great to see you here. There's a lot of nice things in the chat. People being very straightforward, saying I wouldn't be a musician if it wasn't for Banjo Kazooie, and they're happy to have some of their instruments like bassoon and marimba in there that they don't maybe always get to hear in every other soundtrack. So, just throwing that there.
Yeah, they had an impact.
It's super nice when people say things like that. It's like, if you can inspire someone to take up an instrument, that's the best you can do, I think. Really, it's a fantastic thing, and I think video game music's become such a gigantic force now that and recording and playing at home has become super easy with all the kind of software out there that anybody can have a go now. You can buy that whole BBC Symphony Orchestra thing from Spitfire for like $900, or $1,000. I mean, that's quite a lot of money, but to get that quality of like sample library for that price and just fiddle around with an orchestra, whether you know what you're doing or not, I think that's amazing. When I started at Ray, there's no way. I mean, it wasn't until like in 2000 we started to get the Giggy Studio stuff. So before that, it was just playing synths. There was no, I guess the old Roland sample library was there, but nothing like what we've got now. It's spectacular.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you again so much for joining us. Before we let you go, is there anything you want to plug? Any games you're scoring that you want to just mention real quick, or any cool things in the future?
It's like you can't mention. It's all secret, isn't it?
Of course.
You can talk about Smash, I guess.
Yeah.
Well, I wish. I mean, nothing I talk about at the minute, I'm afraid.
No problem. It's been awesome. Thank you so much again, sir. Absolute pleasure.
Thanks for inviting me on, gentlemen, and more power to you. That's what I say. It all sounds amazing.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank
Grant.
you.
Thank you. Huge pleasure having you.
That was Grant Kirkhope, composer of Banjo Kazooie and countless other games. If you want to know the other ones, he has a Wikipedia article.
Now we're gonna switch back.
We're gonna switch back to what you just heard, which was Final Fantasy X Besaid featuring Purple Scala. I hope I pronounced that right.
I say Purple Shala.
I always said Shala as well.
But I mean, it's Chrono Trigger, so everything can be pronounced weird. So Besaid, Final Fantasy X. We have wanted to collaborate with Purple Shala for a very, very long time. I personally am a huge fan of her work. She's been doing the video game music YouTube thing for a long, long time. Doug Perry comments, he says, I always said Shala. So Purple Shala, amazing albums. Please check out her work. And we kind of went all in on cosplay for that one, which is funny because one of Purple Shala's other main things that she does is cosplay. And so for this one, she didn't do cosplay, and we all did. I saw a lot of appreciation for Danny Flame's Kimari in the chat. I saw some people were saying that there weren't enough belts on our Lulu.
Sorry, I tried. I only have so many belts.
There's never enough belts. Yeah.
That's a pretty good paper mache horn, right?
Yeah.
That's very
Was
good.
it like a paper plate or something?
Yeah, it was
You
a
like
paper
painted
plate.
yourself with blue like Arrested Development.
I think it was a different color, and then you changed my color, right?
I did some post work on it. Yeah, definitely. And also, I should shout out Lauren the Flute, who was a last minute addition to that video. We have a habit of getting terrible ideas in our band, and we call them that. Like, hey, sorry guys, I have a terrible idea.
Hey guys, I
And-
got a terrible idea, and then invariably.
Yeah. So the terrible idea near the end of the production of that video was to meet up with Lauren the Flute because she does a Una cosplay, and there happens to be at the time it was pretty much abandoned public beach nearby, and so we were able to film her in her costume and sort of really ground that video. So thank you, Lauren, for being a part of that, and thank you, Purple Shala, for collaborating with us. I hope we get to do it again really soon.
Also, can I say, Robbie, you pull off a pretty mean Orin.
Thank you.
Heck yeah. The hand and the one. Oh boy. Very good.
It's not hard to play with one hand, but after 5-10 minutes of holding it, like your pinky just kills.
Mm-hmm.
And those glasses, I will say, they were from the drugstore. They're clip-on glasses for like there's sunglasses that clip onto glasses with no arms. So I had to make the arms out of like wiring so they would
Very
stay on my
nice.
face, but they're the right size. Anyway,
Yeah.
cool. We should move on. Thomas, where are we?
We're a little over halfway through the album, guys. Thanks for sticking with us. We of our guest extravaganza, Brassino Isles. Next up is Bubble Man from Mega Man 2, featuring Ro Panaganti.
Get some rows in the chat. Row.
Your boat?
I'm not clicking the button. I'm sorry. I'm being slow. Here's Bubble Man with Row.
That was Bubble Man from Mega Man 2, featuring Ro Panaganti on guitar. We also need to shout out our other extra contributor on that track, which is Gal Gershovsky, played the drums on there. Brought a whole lot to that. He's an excellent drummer. But Ro's with us here as well. Covered two separate guitar parts on there, and has been a fantastic collaborator, like really involved with the process the whole time. The video edit. I first talked to Ro a couple months ago about it, and like I had a different track in mind. But when you're covering video game music, you have to worry about, or any music, I guess, you have to worry about whether or not you can license it. And the track I wanted to do first was something from Echo the Dolphin, and that wasn't licensable. So we defaulted this Mega Man thing because I wanted to try. I already had an idea before this about making it slow and fast. And anyway, he's Ro Panaganti.
Yeah, thanks. Thank you guys so much. A, for having me on a track. I've wanted to collaborate with you guys since like the moment I found out you were a thing. And just like being on this album and part of this super fun stream has been like really cool because it just feels like, again, it's like a mini convention. Again, it's like the same community vibes. And like this album is like a reflection of the community surrounding Game Brass and like all the other super talented people there. So it's like being like a part of that is insanely cool.
Well, it's super nice to have you. And I will say it's very nice to have another video nerd to work with.
That was a really cool thing too with Bubble Man, right?
I think that's the one video where the guest edited it kind of with us, I believe.
Sure. I mean, I guess like to start, like from my perspective, when you emailed me and stuff, and I was like, I get to work with Game Brass. The first thing on my mind is like, I get to green screen with Game Brass and composite a wacky video with these. Like that's the real reward here. I mean,
the green screen brass.
I mean, I'll compliment already. The arrangement's fantastic. I don't always feel like super confident like when I'm playing someone else's arrangement on guitar. You did a fantastic job. You gave me a lot of cool freedom with my parts. I feel like you knew like, oh, Ro can do like delay wacky stuff. He could do solo stuff there. But yeah, like having the free reign to come up with thank you, Doug. I appreciate the beard compliment. It's a direct Doug ripoff.
Yeah,
I really like that.
Woo, Thomas Kresge.
But yeah, I like the idea that we could talk about the video ideas. I remember we were talking like, okay, here's the level, and I remember you guys were throwing around like, we could like warp you in like this, and we could have like a waterfall like this. I was like, what if we just went underwater like halfway through the level?
Remember, your exact words were, can't we just do a SpongeBob transition?
Yeah. And if you're unfamiliar in the chat, like the show has transitions where bubbles just like flow up and they go to the next scene. I was like, let's just do that. And my favorite shot is still where like Robbie, you're just like submerged into the water. And as you guys mentioned, I wanted to really like bring it. So I green screened my shot and I composited myself in the water and I added like little fishies that I got from this cool red giant tutorial. And it was just
so good.
It was so fun. And I really love how everything kind of looks once put together.
Yeah, well, and it made my life easier too, because then I got to try and color match all what you did and we got to use your background. And so like that back and forth was really helpful because I'm trying to do, so many edits too.
Right. No, I really like that because it's different. And I've never collabed with the video. Like I've never video edited as part of like the collab role. And I think it pays off a lot because that is what you're putting out. It's an entertaining arrangement, but it's also like an audio visual experience. So like, frankly, it's part of the Game Brass like thing that I get excited about. Every time there's a new video, I'm like, I gotta watch this. I can't just like listen to this. I gotta watch this and see what they do.
I appreciate that because I am trying to hide as many game references in every video as possible.
I've been like in summers because I was a really big fan of Earthbound. I saw so many floating things, swimming things in the back. I think I saw the sea serpent in a shot. Like there's a lot of dense game love in all these videos. But
Dense Game Love is actually the name of our next album, but don't tell anyone that.
No, not doing that.
I wouldn't be surprised.
Sorry.
That wouldn't be the worst concept. Dense Game Love is trending on Twitter.
Yeah.
What am I doing?
Before we move on, Ro, you have a new album, right?
I do. Yeah. Yes,
please
I do.
tell us.
Plug away. Yeah, so I just released a brand new album. It's been 2 years of work with my buddy Christian Richardson, along with Tiggs and Bryn Surdy as guest collaborators. It's called Moonrock, and it's all songs from Super Mario Odyssey done in like a mix of like pop punk sing-along style and our usual progressive metal flair. It's on all your Bandcamp and Spotify's under either my name or Christian Richardson's. And we're really excited about it too. So we're going to be making some fun videos. I don't know how crazy we'll go with that. We won't do SpongeBob references, but yeah, it was a lot of fun. Other than that, I'm just doing the usual, making videos, working on a 9-month project I can share much later. But yeah, and then I'm on the tour. I'm on the Brassino Isles tour. So
yeah,
how can your summer get any better than that?
Yeah. Speaking about hiding little things in your work, my favorite track from your latest is the Steam Gardens. And you definitely hide a few musical surprises in there. So
yeah,
look out for.
Something to look out for. I'll give Christian credit to that, but you will recognize one pop song at least, and a couple Mario songs, and definitely the lick. The lick is riddled on that.
I was gonna make a dumb joke question about the lick. How many times you fit the lick in there, but you beat me to it. You just did it seriously. Okay.
Did that on this album.
Yeah. You Yes, Diwa is on the blank with Ro.
Yes. Also, shout out to Tiggs in the chat.
Yeah, shout out Tiggs.
And Christian, I think, actually.
Yes.
I think they're both
Christian's here too. Yeah. Other wonderful musicians. This has been a fun musician-filled night. So it was
cool.
Good.
Yeah. Well, we really appreciate you being on the album. We really appreciate you being here and talking with us tonight. If you want to shout out anything else, please go ahead.
Other than that, honestly, just check out everyone that were guests, because I'm a huge fan of like all your guests too. It's a perfect win-win. Yeah. Besides that, no more outer face jokes.
So okay,
do we want to talk about that
joke in our private Game Brass chat today? I linked an Amazon listing of like 1/4-inch patch cord turnarounds. Okay. So it's like a cable that's just no cable, and so you could just get an interface and just put all of them in there. I was gonna get them, and it was too much work for a joke like that. But I thought of you.
Bobby, you understand what band you're in?
Yeah, I mean, the terrible idea abounds.
Oh boy.
Oh man,
it's all because I was trying to help Julie Henderson.
Terrible ideas, yeah.
Sure.
Wow, cool.
Right.
So, thank you, Ro.
again.
I'm gonna throw it over to Alex, Daniel, someone. Alex,
Go for it. All right.
That's right.
Are you
That's right.
there?
Yes. The next video we're going to show here is for Let's Hit the Beach from Persona 4 Golden. And we had a very fantastic guest, String Player Gamer, on this
Sorry.
one.
Actually, we're jumping
That's
the
not
gun
the
a little
next track.
bit.
Oh, did I get too far?
Yeah, you did.
Just jumping the gun by one track.
Oh, home goal. Scratch that. We're actually going to go back all the way. We're going to go back in time. Chrono Cross Home Goal Dove.
And that was Home Gualdo from Chrono Cross by Yasunori Mitsuda, featuring our very, very good friends, the Videri String Quartet. With us tonight, we are super happy to have two members of the Videri String Quartet, and I think a few more of you guys in chat as well. We've got Rosie and Mateus. Rosie, are you here?
Oh, she only just joined, so she might be muted by default. Say hello,
We'll have to
Mateus.
Oh, hey, I'm Ben. Hi, I'm Mateus.
You're not Ben this time.
Yeah, you get to be yourself this time.
Sorry, I got confused. Rosie. Oh, wait, Rosie's muted still.
So
No.
Rosie, there's a little button that turns off the mute, and then there's
The microphone
button that turns on the
thingy.
camera.
She'll figure it out. Well, we can just chat about it.
But no, that's yeah. Go ahead. Good. I was gonna say that's a lovely track. I love it. It's just beautiful.
So great.
It's like it's just a lovely vacation spot. I want to go there. All these are lovely vacation spots, but this is more my style. Just chill, listen to some really lovely, sophisticated string quartet writing. Thomas, again, great work on that. And Videri, you guys just did phenomenally well, as always.
Yeah, Rosie, can you tell us everybody on that track and Videri?
Can I what? I
Hi,
figured out how
Rosie.
to unmute myself.
Yeah.
Let us know everyone in Videri who was on that track just now.
So we had Mateus, who was with us on violin, and then Chris Ferrara was on violin as well. I have no idea who played violin 1 and violin 2. You have to ask Mateus.
I think
That
Chris
one
played
was Chris
violin
one.
Yeah.
Okay. And then myself, Rosie Samter on viola, and then Jeremiah Barkis on cello, who is in the chat lurking.
Lurker.
Mode.
Hey, I know which violin part I played. What are you talking about?
I want to know you.
Jeremiah's.
Oh.
He's giving me a hard time on the chat.
Anyway, Videri's been around doing video game covers longer than the Game Brass, and we've always wanted to collaborate with them. This is actually our second track with them. We had another one a couple months ago.
Yeah.
And right now they are working on another project. Why don't you tell us about that, Rosie?
Sure. We're working on a project. It's an arrangement competition. So basically a call for scores. And we are calling it Quarantet because we are all stuck in our own homes with nothing to do. And I had to learn how to record myself so I could do all these things.
Rosie
My
bought a
room-
really nice ribbon mic.
My
and
room is all recording things.
yes, and
I
you
love
should you should like all put her to use her nice ribbon mic.
Yeah, that one's not that one got put away because it's a ribbon mic.
Yep, good.
That's fair. That's totally understandable.
Just leave it up 24/7. Never touch it. It just lives there now. It's
You
just
know,
a
my-
fixture in your room. It never goes. That's the solution.
Pretty much.
So
I
going back
use
for a
mine to
second,
hang towels.
Oh, that's terrible. Sorry. If somebody wants to submit a score to Quarantets, how long do they have, and where can they do that?
Okay, yes, sorry. I get distracted. I am the distraction attraction. All the web information is on our website, www.viderisq.com. But basically, we're accepting scores until August 1st. And the other thing is that the whole idea behind the album is that we're all stuck at home. So Videri will be recording in our own homes and sending the tracks in, and then the tracks themselves have to have something to do with the pandemic and or quarantines. So it's going to be fun.
It's super exciting.
We already got some submissions, and we're getting tons of questions. There's a special email address too. This is all on the website. If you have any specific questions about the competition or the project, you can send them to the email, and it will be answered. It will also be judged anonymously and all that stuff.
And we actually have prizes. Like there's monetary prizes for the top 3. And then we're going to actually record the top 40 to 50 minutes of music and put it on an album that we'll release in December.
That's
fantastic.
super cool.
It's going to be fun. We're excited. Well, I'm excited. So that everyone else is excited.
You're excited. Everyone else, varying degrees of apprehension, but that's okay. I'm kidding.
Oh man.
But thank you, Rosie. That's all of you. It's always an absolute pleasure to get to work with you. I remember hearing a slightly different, but still the same ensemble back at IndieCade in like 20.
Oh my God.
2013. I was there
Yeah.
like my very first like game conference or game convention, at the awards ceremony, like showing off Gunpoint, I think. And I just remember that I got to the awards and like there's this incredibly classy ensemble just beautifully performing like Green Hill Zone from Sonic. And it's just wonderful.
And I mean, it's also nice to think back to just like this last MegFest where we had the honor and the privilege to even like play with you guys. So that was fun.
The honor is all ours, really.
Yeah, that means a lot to us because, truth be told, Videri was a huge influence on us even starting the band at all. When Daniel and I were driving home from MagFest 4 years ago or whatever, we got to talking. It's like, seeing Videri was really great, and we should do that. That's the short story version.
Yeah. Essentially, we want to be the Videri, but with brass instruments.
Videri Brass
also
Quintet.
Much cornier, frankly.
You know that we need to make a brass versus strings album.
That's
anytime, anywhere.
Meat strings.
We should, as long as we mic you guys and just mix it in post, they'll be fine. We'll make it work.
The problem of
we
the
fix us
ages.
in post all the time.
Yeah, exactly.
Don't tell them the secrets.
Oh, wonderful.
So one thing I always try to do on Twitter is I try to get you guys to like engage in like fun banter, but it's always with Danny Romberger, and he's always just so nice about it.
That's his great failing, honestly. He's too nice.
Oh no.
So anyway,
You're too sweet.
You got to get someone with more sarcasm.
Right?
I'm sorry, you all do heads.
Wonderful. Thank you both again for joining us, and thank you, all four of you, for playing on this.
Thank you for having us.
Yeah, thank you.
Of course.
Yeah. Oh yeah, and Mateus, thank you for playing double duty this album.
Oh yes.
I've had you on twice.
Oh yes.
Boy has range.
And me, Ben.
Thank you, Ben.
Okay, I'll stop.
Thank you, Ben.
So next up is a really special track. This one is from Persona 4 Golden, correct? Right? And this is Let's Hit the Beach, featuring our good friend, String Player Gamer.
Hello and welcome back. You just heard "Let's Hit the Beach" from Persona 4 Golden, and joining with us today and playing on that track and on the video is String Player Gamer.
Hi, hi everyone. Thank you for having me in this amazing album.
Thank you for joining us.
Yes, it's so much fun to record this, and it was like, are they doing a beach album? I was right.
You nailed it.
Yeah.
And on this, you played electric violin, huh?
Yes, I have it right here. It's actually a violin / viola. It's a 5-string electric violin. It's an NS design, and I use it in I guess 90% of my own covers. I use my own kind of mix, and so I now have some sort of recognizability when I hear a violin. Oh, that's my violin. It's kind of like when you hear Carlos Santana play, you know that it's his tone. So I'm kind of like, that's what I'm trying to do with this electric violin. But yeah, it's so useful for live shows, like when we jam in MagFest, especially with Danny.
Yes.
And for recordings, especially when you're like in a noisy neighborhood. So good.
Yeah, it's like a very wide range going from the previous track with the Videri String Quartet, very like chamber group stuff, and then now you're still a violin player, but it's a very different style. What other instruments did you play on that track, by the way?
Yeah, I also played guitars and bass guitar. Yeah, and I think for the guitar, I used my usual Gibson Les Paul guitar and I forgot some bass guitar that's like I forgot the brand, but it's like my trusty weapons.
It plays low notes.
It plays low notes. Wonderful.
Awesome. Cool. Yeah. So Persona 4 Golden recently came out on Steam. So I think some of the people in the chat are probably checking it out right now. And Alex, did you just start it?
Yes, I just bought it during the Steam sale, and I started it like a couple days ago, 4 or so days ago, and I was so happy that I very quickly heard like Heartbreak, one of my favorites. And I'm very excited to get to this track, hear it in game, and many others. So yeah, please play it on Steam. Go get it.
Yeah, it's one of my top 5 all-time games. Love it. Cool. So String Player Gamer, sorry, Daniel, what were you gonna say?
I was going to say, like, String Player Gamer, this track in particular was just such a perfect fit for you. It really has that fun atmospheric vibe. And just like thinking back to MagFest and the jam sessions that we have, and that you largely like lead us through having the progression and having the solo section, it really felt like in your element, in your style. And it's just such a thrill to have you on this track.
Thank you very much. Thank you for having me. I mean, we've jammed so many times in MagFest that I think it's just like a natural progression for us to finally do a second collaboration.
True.
This is in fact our second collaboration, because we did some sort of April Fool's collaboration back in my channel, which is a Mass Effect cover where they did the most difficult brass arrangement.
I think we just played 4 low F sharps as loud as possible, and that was it. So yeah, it was truly a technical challenge.
Hardest.
I mean, to be fair though, you say it was a joke. The only joke was the fact that we played 4 F sharps and that was it. The track, phenomenal. Like,
thank you very much.
I'm as a Mass Effect nerd and a huge fan. It was a beautiful arrangement. Fantastic. Do you have anything coming down the pipe that you want to quickly plug?
Yes, I actually just released a Persona 5 album called Strings of Fate, where I perform violin and guitar and everything. But there's also like a vocal version of the instrumental tracks, which is sung by my daughter, Little Miss SPG. So do check that out. It's in all the digital stores, including Spotify. And also, I'm working on a big Legend of Zelda album.
Oh, that's so cool.
That's hype.
Legendary, one might say. I love it. Fantastic.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Super great to have you. For those of you just joining us, we are the Game Brass, and we are listening to our latest album. Wait, yes, we are listening to Brassino Isles Tropical Cruise, which is a wonderful trip through a variety of hot vacation spots with our best friends in video games. We're out right now on Bandcamp, as well as Spotify and iTunes and Amazon and Deezer and a million other things. But if you are interested for the length of this stream, you can pick us up as well as almost everything else that we have on our Bandcamp store for 15% off using the coupon code ISLANDS. Islands, plural. All right. All caps as well. Plural and all caps. Islands. All right. It does have, as was pointed out, an S at the beginning. Islands, not I-L-A-N-D-S, like some people might think. And that's basically it. It's not my lands. It's your lands. I mean, it's islands. Anyway.
John, I do believe it's Island.
Islands.
Islands is how you pronounce it from where I grew up.
How could I be so mistaken? Thank you for correcting me, sir. But yes, somebody please jump on and save me and intro the next piece.
I just want to jump in and say from the chat, the Videri String Quartet just commented, Rosie is definitely the JRM of Videri. She makes terrible jokes and gives things terrible names.
I knew we had that connection. It's wonderful. Thank you.
John Robert, I think you're going for the best pun of the night for like the third day in a row that we've talked together.
I just, this has been a very sleep deprived month. And when you're sleep deprived, you just come up with great things. Let's say terrible ideas, one might say, at all turns, all corners. You know what I mean?
We are nothing but terrible ideas.
He's more terrible ideas now than man. No.
All right. Are we ready for the next track, guys?
Yes. I'm ready.
Yes, let's do it.
What is man but a miserable pile
Next
of
up, we have a special, it's almost like a five-way.
Sorry.
Next up, we have what's almost a special five-way collaboration. It's DK Island from Donkey Kong 64, featuring 4 separate woodwind players. No relation. Bassoonify, Christian Nagus, Dan De Simone, who you probably know otherwise as 8-Bit Brigadier, and Soundole. It's a DK Island.
Hi, and that was DK Island from Donkey Kong 64.
And that was Danny Flam in a banana suit. Featured on that track.
Banana.
Featured on that track were 4 woodwind players from
Banana!
actually around the world. Now I got to mute Danny Flam because he's gone off.
He's gone bananas.
He's gone
bananas. Anyway.
Bananas.
Anyway, 4 woodwind players on that track. We had on flute Dan DeSimone, 8-bit brigadier. On oboe, Kristen Nigas. On clarinet, Soundole. And on
the rest.
Bassoonify, the rest, joining us here on stream, representing all the woodwinds with the biggest woodwind bassoon. Hello, Bassoonify, welcome. I know you've worked with some of these people before, but there's not actually an official video game woodwind quintet that I'm aware of.
No, there quite isn't. They're quite I mean, we've played a couple of things, and we all have our turn of arranging something and getting a couple of people together. I kind of have my usual crew I go to with Dan and with Soundole, and I love getting Mark on that horn and getting Brooke on that oboe. Holy cow, Brooke is playing trumpet. Like, how do you keep up double reed embouchure and a brass embouchure? That's a dedication like going to the gym every day. Ooh, this light is bright now that I'm looking at myself.
Yeah, Brooke's incredible.
Yeah, she's crazy. How'd she do that?
Magic. It's just magic, really. Let's be honest.
That's the thing about you woodwinds. All of y'all know each other, and you're also friendly and easy to work with. And you collab with each other all the time too. So whenever I go for a woodwind, I'm like, oh, I can't collaborate with this person without also having this person, and then
it's
like when your friend gets invited to a party
person,
and the other friends don't get invited. It's like, well, I gotta invite that dude. No. Don't
Pretty
feel bad.
soon, everybody's there, and you can't stop them. It's how it works.
And then soon you get kicked out of the MagFest hotel room because you got too many people in there, right?
I think we've all been there. Actually, literally.
We actually all have been there.
Yeah.
Actually, I don't know if I've been there. I always seem to miss every single jam session somehow.
I seem to remember a very vigorous performance of the DK rap, which then we were kicked out. Okay?
That was quickly wrapped up. So oh my gosh, I'm so sorry.
I will never forget the security guard walking into that room and just looking at us and going, "Y'all know why I'm here, right?"
And that's when you hand him the mic and be like, "Of the DKU." It was exactly. String Player Gamer points out it was indeed One Winged Angel. That was the one that set it off. There's no perfect tongue. Once you go to One Winged Angel, you just can't go back.
That's true. Once you lose one wing, you can't. Never mind. Okay, carry on.
So Bassoonify, you've been a busy bassoon boy.
I've been a busy boy. When times come of how we are nowadays, and get some more people that are experimenting with, hey, I'm gonna instead of recording my usual, record for existing people in one spot, looking for remote musicians. So it's definitely been a little bit more busier from that. So it's been a lot of recording. It's been tough on the reeds. Got to keep those up. I feel like most of my practice time is just reed maintenance time. I finally caved in and bought this stupid little, where'd it go? Expensive. I don't know. This thing's way too expensive. It's because I can't cut reeds straight. It's dumb. Double reed stuff is expensive. Yeah.
This is super foreign to all of us because we just go to a store and they hand us a piece of metal and we're done.
Right. You all should have to forge your own mouthpieces from the fire of Mount Mordor.
I mean, the equivalent is, technically you forge this and there's definitely some fire involved, but after that, there's no equipment. You just gotta move mouthpiece and
I have a pile of mouthpieces also.
Yeah.
No, you can go down the mouthpiece rabbit hole pretty long ways from what I understand about brass players.
It's
now wait, didn't you play horn or mellophone or something?
Oh yeah, I did too. I did DCI, some drum corps, and I was a mellophone player. And in high school, I played a little bit of horn. I pretended to know what I was doing. I was probably doing so many things wrong. Someday I really would love to get a mellophone, just because I miss that airy tone of it. It's a big old dinner plate of a bell. It's a cool instrument,
It is. Super rad.
For our
you
viewers
could
at
also
home,
use it as a steel drum too.
For the viewers at home who may not necessarily know what a mellophone is, there's different instruments in the brass family, and the French horn and the mellophone usually kind of hold the same role. They play in a similar key, and they're sort of like the alto voice, if I can call it that, in the brass band. So we should make you French hornify.
French hornify. Mellphonify?
There are two kinds of mellophones. Now to quickly to the mellophone tangent.
That's true.
There are what we call marching mellophones, which are basically, again, filling in that French horn role. They're usually piston valve, at least here in America, bell forward, and they have just this massive flared bell. And then the other kind of mellophone is this, which is a concert mellophone, which looks a lot like a French horn, but again, piston valves. This one is from like 1911 or so, and is a little dusty because I'm in my basement. But again, very much a French horn sort of instrument. It's a strange thing that exists. It doesn't get used a ton, but like we said, like drum corps stuff does marching mellophones all the time, and that's kind of their French horn sound. It's an interesting instrument.
It seems to be where all like the woodwind players end up getting attached to in DCI. Also, they always like end up on mellophone for some reason. I don't know, the scales or something. Maybe something about that.
You know, maybe it's just that like woodwinds equals like that. I don't know. The woodwind quintet life means you get a horn in there, and somehow that infects you, and then you become sort of a horn. I don't know.
Well, and if you're going to go to the effort to learn how to play double reed, why not just play the hardest brass instrument?
That's how it works, right? Yeah, I mean, really anything.
The Ophiclyde.
I'm worried this is getting too nerdy, guys.
Sorry.
No.
I see in the chat that someone has shouted out the mellophonium. I will say I have one, and so does John Stacy, or he did. So we do know the mellophonium, and we love it, but it's super hard to tune.
I mean, technically, a bassoon. There is a metal bassoon, like the sarrusophone. Like.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay.
And wasn't the Ophiclyde like also like a keyed, like kind of like a?
It looks like a tuba mouthpiece, but it's like almost like a bass sax or something.
Yeah, it's like a very sax.
Completely differently. So I tried one, and I could play one note. So
wow.
Yes.
Okay. For the sake of our viewers who are not.
Yeah, sorry, we could just go down.
Moving on.
I'm so lonely. I'm
Do you want to shout
talk to
anything
people.
out?
Oh, sorry. What?
Do you want to shout anything out?
I play on YouTube sometimes. It takes me a while to finish videos, but I put a lot of love into them. Oh, but I am excited for something John's got coming up with your thing. I got to play a lot on that, and going through that demo, it was really cool to like, oh, wow, got to record a lot up for that. That was really cool.
Cheap plug of my own, I guess.
Yeah,
I've been scoring a game for the last 3 years now, I guess, technically, called Ambition, a Minuet in Power. It is a kind of adventure game. We like to refer to it as a roguelike dating sim set in Paris on the eve of the French Revolution. And all the music in it is my best stab at period music. Videri String Quartet is on the soundtrack. A lot of people who have been involved in Materia community albums who I've met through there are on that. Bassoonify is on the soundtrack. Kristen Negus is like the musical voice of the protagonist of the game, so she's everywhere. It's a real wild ride. I'm really excited to get to share this stuff with everyone, and Bassoonify plays just phenomenally. It's great. We got there's a character who is his theme is bassoon, and he plays it so slimily. I love it. It makes me so happy.
Michaela's in that one too, isn't it?
She is.
Yeah, which I think she's coming up next, isn't she?
And she is.
There's a transition for you.
Segue.
Looks like somebody's been on the internet before.
And with that note,
that's Bassoonify with us. Just played bassoon on that last track alongside Dan DeSimone and Kristen Negus and Soundle. Woodwinds and Brass. Next up, though, we are going to be playing Insanity Beach from Crash Bandicoot. This is featuring Michaela Chu, and the less said, the better. Let's get into it. All right, that was Insanity Beach from Crash Bandicoot featuring Miklachu. We just had to test down how to pronounce it. She didn't give us an answer, but she's here with us. Some might be curious what they just listened to if they've never been exposed to that before. I'm still wondering too, but it was an automaton.
Yeah. So for those who don't know what an automaton is, it's this cute little quirky instrument, and it's kind of like a theremin you could physically touch. So that's the low range, and then there's the mid range, and you use his mouth, by the way, to like squeeze it and make it loud and cute. And then there's the super high range. So yeah, there's all these cute and fun ways to play it, and obviously actually, for those who don't know me, I do play violin as my main instrument, so adding vibrato when it's like slightly out of tune to make it sound slightly more in tune. That's kind of how I work with the automaton.
Yeah, she somehow perfected this instrument. It's a high art.
Yeah.
We're all for it though, and we also had a different guest on there as well. His name's
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Okay, let me see. Let's use this candlestick. Here we go. So this is Mr. Naki. I hope you guys can see his cute face in stream. Here, I'll bring this down a little bit. So yeah. So Mr. Naki is this cute little mechanism where you kind of pretend you can air drum, but in real life. So you hit this down, and with this wire, it connects your air drumming mechanism powers into the beautiful sounds of the plastic Mr. Naki. So it's almost like wood blocks, but plastic blocks.
But like played through remote handheld controllers.
Yeah. So, or actually the other one was da 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 da, yeah, all that. So
That's so
yeah, and then you could also like clip them together and then like press them. Yeah. Also, I wanted to shout out to Ro for creating the outer face because we were very inspired to create the outer monotone or outermatone.
Automaton. Oh no.
So that might be in the market eventually. I don't know. It should be outermatone, automaton. I don't know. I was trying to think of the name.
The near automaton. As it is nearly an automaton.
Yeah.
Hey.
Oh man, that face is like ripe for the moon. Oh boy. No,
Oh
no,
yeah.
no. That's a nightmare.
Totally.
I gotta admit, I had a hard time with this track. We when we started this project, we had a list of people we wanted to collaborate with, and Miklachu was on that list. But I was kind of thinking like, where's the best track to put each person, and this worked out great, I think. But then the second challenge was like, where exactly do we put this track on the album? Because it always feels to be like it's coming out of nowhere, especially right after. We didn't hear it exactly after DK Island, but it ends with like a nice chorale, and then just Crash jumps through the door like the
Kool-Aid Man.
Yeah,
he's like, oh yeah.
Next thing.
Oh my gosh. No,
You
Thomas.
might say Crash crashes
Oh, go ahead.
through the door.
Oh yeah, crash through the door, the crash. Oh, okay, I love it. I love this. But yeah, no, Thomas, I have to give you like major props for not only like mixing the automaton and Mr. Naki so well into the ensemble, but when you gave me the parts at first, I was thinking, even before looking at it, I was like, oh, maybe I should send an email of like the ranges of the deluxe that I have generally, but like most of it you wrote was like it fit perfectly on the automatons I was using. So
I did research automatons.
yeah, I appreciate it.
Out there on them. So now I know how to write for this.
Wow. Yeah.
And you said that this might be the first instance of sheet music for Mr. Naki.
Oh yeah, I haven't really seen sheet music for Mr. Naki, so that was very sweet too. He appreciates it. The precious boy. Everyone loves him. Here,
Yeah.
and applause to Thomas and everyone for doing such a great job on this album all together. It's been amazing.
This is such a fun track. And we can sort of
Yeah.
see your automaton costumes for Crash in the background.
Yeah. Do you want me to bring them? Or
Please, yeah,
Okay.
if you
Yeah.
can
Hold
reach.
up. I'll try. Ugh.
It's fine. We can see them. Don't get hurt.
It's fine. Don't worry about it.
Dun, 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 dun.
Yeah, so I mainly use like felt and foam and paper, and I don't want to knock this over. Why did this get tangled up? I literally just had it for like 2 seconds. Okay, so Yeah, so I guess the first one, of course, Crash himself. So what I end up doing with this costume is like, I had adhesive kind of felt paper, and so I stuck it inside its mouth so it just stays there. And then the rest of the costume just kind of like made a paper like layer to it, and then figured out the pieces. And yeah, it just
You
works
need
like
to start a
that.
whole separate channel on how to dress up your instrument.
Oh, I guess so. Like the behind the scenes with like easy crafts.
It's like makeup tutorials, but it's just for.
Oh my gosh!
It's just
like
Mikla
people would watch
Choo.
that.
It's just the behind the scenes.
Yeah, get ready with me and my automaton. So I'll put on my makeup and then I'll put on their costumes. This one's Coco, though I wasn't sure if it looked more like Tana because the eyeliner kind of made her look more mature and older. So I was having an issue with that, and also the way I had cut the mouth. Like, I don't know, it just made her look older and more cursed. So, so I was like, Coco slash
She's an older
Tana.
automaton. She's getting on a little bit in years.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. And then here's the Kirby one. So in case like Crash ever comes to Smash, I figured it'd be cool to create like a concept costume of what Kirby would look like as Crash. So it's like this cool little like mohawk thing going on, and yeah.
Jeez, that's amazing.
Ro just said in the chat, instrument clothing line. And I want to respond to that. Instrument outerwear.
Outerwear! This is the outerwear for Mr. Naki. Just slap it on. And
I feel like it should make like a nice
yeah,
just-
like a slap sound, like in Hanafuda. It's just like slap.
Yeah.
It's like the
Perfect.
equivalent for like the Nintendo Switch, like.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, you guys need to like find. Oh, we should get Emmanuel best sound recorder design. Just get the slap sound. Just like replace it.
We got this. We got this. All right, let's otamouterwear.com. Don't take it, anybody.
Yeah,
Do not
I got
register
trademarked
that.
it. It's mine now. Nobody can take it from me.
Oh man.
Oh man, yeah, we got a nice variety on here.
Yeah.
From guitars to woodwinds to automatons,
Yeah.
and wow,
To a clothing line.
Yeah.
To a
And so the
clothing
video for that track is still in production right now,
Mhm.
featuring the costumes you just shown. Danny, do you still have your head nearby?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
Your head
I
nearby.
just want to give a teaser to something you can all look forward to, because Danny went to this effort.
Whoa.
Truly cursed.
You got to make a sound, Danny.
Oh, I have to make it down.
You have to make the whoa.
Woo! Whoa.
It's
The
when he
things dreams
dies.
are made
When he
of.
dies, he's like whoa, and then it's become an internet meme. So
I
yeah.
get that. Apologize
It is-
for viewers for exposing him to that. But
Before we let you go, Michaela, do you have anything you want to plug? I know I nod. Maybe I'm self-serving.
No, I'm plugging John Robert Batz's Ambition, a Minuet in Power, because it's amazing, and I'm so honored that he let me record a couple of string stems on there.
She's really good.
Thanks. There's no automaton there because it didn't fit the timeline, unfortunately. But
It's a
I played some.
tragedy, really.
Yeah, maybe there'll be a bonus track where they just jump into a weird dimension where the
Well, just-
future is now.
I think we gotta like channel some like Wendy Carlos kind of vibe and do that like switched on box sort of thing. But we'll just take some of the
Yes.
pieces and it's just all automatons, switched on automatons.
Okay, I'm down for that. We need to talk.
All right, cool. Just a thought, you know.
Yeah, also I haven't uploaded in like nearly 2 years, but I'm planning to on middle of August-ish, maybe early August if we're lucky. So yeah, I'll be looking forward to that. And also hopefully, the Game Brass video will have me featured, so I'll be, shouting out that here and there. So yeah.
thank
Sweet.
you. Yeah. All right. That's Mikla Choo on the automatons and Mr. Naki. We're almost
Thank
to the
you,
end here,
friends.
guys. Thanks for staying with us the whole time. Of Brassino Isles Tropical Cruise. It's on Bandcamp and Spotify and all your other favorite music platforms. Right now, there's a discount code going on.
Yeah, go get them.
On Bandcamp. If you put in Islands, you'll get a discount on not just this one, but Brassylvania, our last album as well. That's over on Bandcamp if you do that. All right. Next up, we've got a track that was always going to be on the album from the very beginning. And this is Passing Breeze from Outrun featuring big band Console.
Hi. The next track, I am Danny, and I'm going to introduce. So I'm from console, but I'm also from Game Brass. So I'm going to talk a little bit about console, and it was a long wait in the green room. So I play French horn for Game Brass, but in my real life, I play the recorder. And that's what I do for it. So I wanted to make a recorder thing, but nobody really wants to hear recorder. So then I thought maybe a big band would be better. So together with my good friend Gal Grashovsky, which is a drummer, we decided to make a big band that plays video game music because it's really cool and fun and all the rest of it. And that's the reason everybody's here. And so I recruited for this album like a whole pack of guys from console. So console itself is a bigger band. We have Mitch Friedman on bass. We have Felipe Fournier on the percussion and the mallets. We have Gal Grashovsky on the drums. We have myself on trombone, which is my real instrument. And then we have a couple of great trumpet players. We have Ron Bertolet is our saxophone player. Unfortunately, this is not a saxophone album, so we couldn't show him off, but he's a very good saxophone player. I almost said, I shouldn't say that. Unbelievable saxophone player. Anyway, so back to the story. I recruited them, so suddenly we recorded this track, which is an amazing track. By the way, kudos to Thomas Kresge, an amazing arranger. He's like, can you write an arrangement of a Hawaiian thing in a jazz style for piano? And it'll then an hour later, here you go, here's the notes, and I made it and you're like, how does he do that? Like we had him do an arrangement of Snake Eater for console, and it was like 2 hours later, here you go, and it's like amazing arrangement. So anyway, so he was like, hey, if you're already playing this, maybe you can bring the other guys on the. Maybe you can bring the other guys to play some other tracks. So Gal played drums on this track. Felipe played on this track. Felipe is actually playing the mallets and he's also improvising the bongos. And also on the previous track, he played the bongos there. He read from a chart that Thomas wrote, and he played exactly what was written. And it's like it just sounded perfect, you know. And I was asking him, he's like, this guy's a Grammy Award-winning musician, and I asked him, you know, maybe you can improvise. Thomas was like, maybe you can improvise, and he was like, no, this is a perfect arrangement for the instrument. So everything is like on the arrangement side, we were very, very happy. And then I think Mitch played on this track, or he played on this track, and then we had Gal play the drums and everything. So that's all I have to say about console. And I want to plug console. So the reason I'm like rushing is because people are sitting for 3 hours listening to this thing, and everybody's just like, right? I will plug our album. We're coming out with a live Cuphead album very, very soon, a couple of weeks. It's already in the final mixing stages. We have another song with Tiggs. Tiggs is our singer, by the way. I know she does all the stuff on other things, but she also sings for console. And we're working on an album with her, and we're going to come out with something with Tiggs. We're working on a thing with John Stacy. We're going to come out with we're going to play some of his arrangements. There's some other talk about some other arrangers that we're going to be working on, some other interesting projects. So it's going to be a very, very interesting year looking ahead, and we're going to bring in a lot of interesting guests. So yes, and that is console. So thank you for listening to our track. Thanks for listening to the Game Brass, because this was an amazing experience. It's like sort of like a roller coaster throughout, like, wow, like a good half a year of work. This has been a crazy, crazy emotional roller coaster to get this thing done. For me personally, you know, I didn't really do all the work on this project. Most of the work was done by Robbie and Thomas, and then some other people like Daniel Romberger, John Robert Matz had a very, very big part in it. Alex had a part in it. John Stacy, and I think my part was a lot smaller than everybody else's. But even that was like a tremendous amount of work. And so the amount of work that I put in is like, I'm thinking about how much work the other people here put in. So this is really a love child, and everybody that participated. I really, really thank all the guests. This is really an amazing experience. And anybody that listens to this thing, you can hear that how much blood and how much passion and everything that we put into this project. So I'm glad to be part of this team. I met them 4 years ago I met you guys 4 years ago at MagFest. And, you know, you became like a second family, you know. It's like I talk to you as much as I talk to like my kids, or I talk to my girlfriend, or I talk to them, you know, my parents, you know. It's like every day, what is the Game Brass doing? So it's like it's been a very, very emotional, very deep experience, and I'm very happy to be with it. So thank you so much, and goodbye.
Thank you, Danny. So I was going to start wrapping it up now because we only have one track left, but you did a pretty good job of starting to wrap things up. So I'm going to keep this really brief. One more time, we are the Game Brass. This is a listening party for our latest album. It is called Brassino Isles Tropical Cruise. It is available on Bandcamp, iTunes, Google, YouTube. We keep saying Deezer like anyone knows what that is.
Has anyone bought something off? No, I'm sorry, Deezer. Apologies.
I'm sorry. Sorry, Deezer. We still want to be on you. So we are really happy to have this album out, and we're so thankful for all of our wonderful guests who have been a part of it. There are so many more friends out there in the VGM community that we would have loved to have had on the album, but we only can do so much. Last album was Brassylvania, 22 tracks, and that was because we had a terrible idea at the last moment. We can only do so much for each album. We want to collaborate with even more people in the future, and we would, of course, love to work with all of our collaborators from this album again. So thank you, everyone who's a part of this album. I would take a moment to say all the names. I should have done the cool stream thing to have like a scrolling credits, but one last thing that I want to do before we start introducing this last track is give a chance for everyone who's on the stream right now to introduce themselves and just say hi and who they are and what their role was in the album. I am Robbie Duguay. I play the trumpet. My job in real life is as a video game composer. And yeah, I've been in the Game Brass since the beginning. Like I said earlier, we had the idea for this band in the car on the way home from MagFest, Daniel and I. So it's been a really wild ride. I'm so proud of what we've done here. I forgot to say earlier, if you want to pick up the album tonight, there is a promo code, which is ISLANDS, Lands. That is on Bandcamp, and that will get you 15% off of almost everything, the exception being our first album. And if you want to buy the album, that would be my recommendation. Go to Bandcamp and grab it with a promo code. Back to the introductions. Again, I'm Robbie. This is the Game Brass. Everyone, can you sound off in score order, please?
Sure thing. I am John Robert Matz, and I play principal trumpet, first trumpet. And in real life, I am a composer for video games, films, that sort of thing. I am a occasional voice actor and a music educator. And it's a super awesome time having been part of this group since, what year was it that we started this?
2017.
2017. It feels like ages. It doesn't seem that new, but at the same time, it's been a while. And it's been a great ride. It's been a great ride.
Part of the reason for that is that 2019 is 7 years ago. Danny?
It's too true.
Oh, I'm Danny, and I play French horn for the Game Brass. But in my real life, I play all of the brass. That's what I do. I record. I do a lot of recording sessions, and I play out here in New York. So, yeah, and I think I already said my soliloquy. So, yeah.
You got it. Thanks, man.
Hi, I'm John Stacy. I'm sitting out of Midland, Texas. I play second horn in the Game Brass. In my real life, I'm a remote session musician for all brass instruments and also a private lesson teacher for horn, trumpet, trombone, and music theory. And yeah, that's pretty much all I got. Oh, wait. I am a jazz French horn player. I feel like Superman when I say that.
For those of you who may not know this, jazz French horn is not a common thing.
Yes.
When you have like a stage band or a big band, it's trumpets and trombones and saxophones and all that. And the French horn is somehow left out of that for whatever reason. But John Stacy does a fantastic job of making it a part and making it seem like it should be a part of big band and jazz in general. And John, what you do is amazing. So yeah, please keep it up. We're really happy to have you in the group. I'm so sorry we forgot you earlier.
Thank you.
Daniel?
Hello, my name is Daniel Rumberger. I play trombone. I am also the co-founder of the Game Brass. Robbie and I met at MagFest and had just met each other there. One thing led to another. I ended up giving him a ride to the airport, and we talked about the idea that would become the Game Brass. And a couple years later, here we are with our third album. It's been an absolute thrill to be on this long ride with everyone. I got to meet so many awesome people, so many great friends through the video game music scene, the video game industry, and I don't know where I would be without you guys. But what I am currently doing right now, I study composition, I write music, mostly contemporary classical style, but also a bit of jazz and a bit of like pop and film oriented stuff. And I study at the University of Toronto.
Awesome. Tuba.
All right.
Lowest,
Tuba.
but not far from
Tuba.
least.
Tuba.
My name is also John Stacy. No,
No,
not
wait,
really.
wait.
Oh, hey, you took my line.
But no, for real. My name is Alex Hill. I play tuba, both C tuba and F tuba in Game Brass. I love these guys so much, and I love all the music we've made, and I love seeing like everyone's reaction to not only this album, but like all our stuff, our posts and whatnot when we go to like MagFest and have fun. And it was great to be on an album for the, to have all these friends together, that the last time I saw all these friends was MagFest. Probably the last time I left the house. Because of, but it's so great that we're all here, and it's been absolutely fantastic. And in my day job, I do a lot of things. Before the plague, I performed live like gigs. So anything like that, orchestras, brass bands, all that kind of stuff. I teach lessons as well for all the brass instruments, and I do a lot of recording, session recording, tuba, F and C, and maybe soon some euphonium.
And lately you've been streaming.
I have. I started live streaming because I was really inspired by Doug and Max Boyko and a couple others. And I was like, I don't get enough performance because we're all stuck at home. Let's just perform from home. And I've been doing a lot of that and doing some podcasting, co-hosting a manga podcast. It's been fun. So, but more so, I love these guys. I love this album. I love everyone who's on this, and I am so excited to do more music with y'all in the future and do more collabs way down the road.
Yeah.
Awesome. Thomas?
That's Game Brass. I'm Thomas Kresge, Ranger on this. I don't play brass instruments on this, except in the worst case scenario. But range this in the last two Game Brass albums as well. Normally, I'm a professional orchestrator and arranger in Los Angeles. But that's the Game Brass, and thanks for tuning in this whole time, guys. This is a long stream, but we're finally to our last track, and you may have noticed somebody else hanging out at the bottom of our stream, but finally ready to join in who's our collaborator on the last track here. This is Jordan, who better known as Blind, a remix artist who came in to do the electronic production part of our last tracks here. So we always kind of plan on having an electronic and brass mashup at some point on this album, and Jordan came in to cover those parts. Blind came in to cover those parts, and hopefully his mic starts working. It might not be right now.
Can you hear me?
We can hear you now.
Cool.
Here he is. Blind has been in the remix video game community for a long time.
Ever.
And we are lucky to have him. He tore this track out in like a day. But anyway, tell us what you're doing right now.
I'm in the middle of making trailer music for horror films.
Awesome.
Yeah,
Fantastic.
it's like high ticket composition, and I know it's because of someone I know from MagFest. Knowing people in that community is everything. Like every single gig and job I've ever had, because I'm a full-time composer producer. Like 90% of my gigs are from people in that scene. So, but I just finished 2 game soundtracks last year, and I'm finishing another one this month. So Iron Lights is a VR game that came out. I did the soundtrack to that game.
Oh,
and it's
super
like
cool.
Glitch Hop. So that's on my Bandcamp. You can check it out, braillerecords.com. And Tank Narok was another game. It's like a bullet hell tank fighting game where you like shoot each other. It's multiplayer. It's really cool. So it's got like a drum and bass guitar mashup style. Like every single album I put out is different than the last one completely. It's usually a different genre. So
it's awesome.
It's kind of a weird hook. I don't know what to tell people sometimes, but if I have to choose one, it would probably be what I'm working on now, which is like big beat electronica from the 90s. I'm finishing up an album that's kind of like Crystal Method, Chemical Brothers, Prodigy, stuff like that. And that's like what got me into making electronic music. And then I thought I was the first person to have the idea to put a beat to a chiptune, of course, when I was 14. And I'd never looked back since then. So I've been using most of the software that's come out since version 1.0, whether it's like Fruity Loops or Reason or Cubase or any of the stuff I use. But yeah, the most recent thing I've put out was the Tank Narok soundtrack. So, but yeah, now I'm composing for some trailers, and I did like 1,100 sound effects, hybrid sounds for other trailer houses. So they're using my sounds to make trailers and stuff like that. So I've been really busy with that stuff, but that's kind of like a private gig, so can't really show anything, and I don't really put it out. So, but it's fun, and it's supposed to pay well in the future. So
awesome.
So yeah, that's kind
Fingers
of what I'm
crossed.
up to. Yeah, and I'm just really busy. I'm also working on sample packs. I'm making tons of sample packs. Novation hired me for the iOS app Launchpad a few times, and that was because of somebody from OC Remix too.
Well, and so I was really excited to get to work with you on this album because I remember having your OC Remix tracks on like my first gen iPod 20
Oh,
years
wow.
ago or whatever, right? Like, so
I feel honored.
like it's so great to finally like meet you and get to work with you, and you did this all so fast and so well. Like we all just sort of fit together, and there was a really nice back and forth that I really appreciate.
Yeah, it's really interesting. I wish I could meet you guys. I don't really go to MagFest as much anymore because I have a little bit of drama. My past is still hanging out there. Of course, that's not a big deal now. I'm remarried and everything's good, but there's just a lot of drama with me and Game Chops, and I'd rather not deal with it, you know. But if I have a new reason to go, like I DJ'd, like my pictures you see online are all me DJing MagFest, you know. I haven't been able to get back in again because it's grown so much. So,
well, I mean, everybody lives on the internet now.
I know that's the great thing, and I guess now with the whole COVID thing, I guess it doesn't matter. I mean, it would be canceled anyway if it was happening this summer. You know.
Yeah, if anyone listening cares, I think the MagFest performance applications close today or tomorrow, so get in those applications.
Right.
On the off chance.
No, it is today. It is in fact today. So
today, yeah, okay.
You got time. It's fine.
The track, I'm able to finish things quickly because I've done so much music in 20 years that now it's just reflexes. It's all instinct, cultivated instincts, you know. I have like 500 published songs in my catalog.
Wow.
And I probably have over 1,000 just sitting on my hard drive. But eventually it just becomes really easy to think of as whatever's in your mind will show up on the sequencer within a few hours if you're a pro. You know, if you've gotten to that level, you don't have to think anymore. And anybody's capable. It's just like an instrument, you know, practicing every day as a producer would be like composing every day or, you know, mixing every day or whatever. So I just did it every day. And my parents would be like, "You want to watch a movie?" I'm like, "No, I'm going to remix. I'm going to make a track." And it's built, that foundation built my whole, what I have now. Everything I have now is because of that. So
yeah, I love that. It worked out well for this. We recorded brass parts. There's vocals on this track as well. And
great.
Blind went in, produced all the drums, electronic stuff that's not a brass instrument or vocalist. This is the one track that I didn't mix. Blind did all that too. So this is another way to just send us off. It's going to be a little different from everything else. Featured on this track is Game Brass. Blind is the mixer and basically producer of this one, and Helen Jane Planche on vocals. She sang with the Game Brass before on Snowtopia. She's back again to give us Can You Feel the Sunshine from Sonic R.
And with this, we're actually going to say goodbye. So thank you, everyone. Thank you, Blind. Or did you want to come back? I don't know. Thank you, Jordan. Sorry.
Yeah, no problem.
Yeah, I think we should just sign off with this last track. Thank you, everyone, for being here. We are the Game Brass. thegamebrass.bandcamp.com, thegamebrass.com, everything.com/thegame. Don't actually go to everything.com. Whatever the website is you want to go to, .com/thegamebrass. Thank you so much for all your support. We'll see you again in another 2 months for a new album.
Can you see the sun shining on me? It makes me feel so free, so alive. It makes me want to survive. And the sky, it makes me feel so high. The
What? You're still here? We're done. That's it.